SuperTalk Mississippi media production. Pike County, here comes your morning show. Dave in the morning on 93.5 FM, SuperTalk Mississippi.
So now, understand, you're not going to dictate to me what I do and what I don't do, but I'm still the mayor, Mr. Clark.
None of this meeting is recorded. None by any parties. Correct?
No, sir, none is recorded. I'm being accused.
Any conversation.
I want to make it on record. I want the allegations in writing, or the accused, or on recording of this harassment.
And now, here's your host, Dave Hughes.
Good morning on a Friday. We got a big show today, a lot of stuff to talk about, and we're going to do it with our guests, Pike County Sheriff Wally Jones and his new public information officer, you know her as Cornelia Gayden, has joined us. It's a great combination. Had a little bit of a technical problem with the first 45 seconds of the interview, so we're going to pick it up right in the middle of the intro when we're talking about Cornelia coming on board with the Pike County Sheriff's Department about a month and a half ago.
Department, the public information side, to a new level, and I'm sure, as you can see, following our Facebook page and everything. So we're excited to have her. She's been awesome. Keeps the morale up around the department, kind of keeps us on the straight and narrow. So.
Oh, if you want motivation, there it is.
There
right
it is,
over
right
here in
there.
this chair.
Thank you.
Motivation in a cool car.
Right.
I'm still going to come back to that, Cornelia.
Okay.
Right up front.
I'm going to comment on it in a minute, too.
That's a ride and a half she's got. Now, you mentioned the Facebook page. One thing that I love, and one thing that I think is so important when it comes to law enforcement in general, you have developed such a level of transparency. You
Yes.
put out the stats, you talk about what you're doing, what you've done, where you're going, and that's a big deal.
It is. The public needs to know, and throughout my election, I was big on that about keeping the public informed. Always there's things that we can't talk about, ongoing investigations, and things that we really can't disclose, things that we're working with other agencies that, they ask for us not to disclose. So, these weekly crime reports, they're about as accurate as we can get. But, of course, your drug arrest and things like that, where you may be moving up a ladder or working another side of an investigation, we kind of keep those close to us. But I wanted people to know how many calls we answer in a week. It's a high volume of calls. But not only that, what we're doing as far as our traffic stops, DUIs, how many affidavits were filed, our assist to other agencies, being the chief law enforcement officer and the chief law enforcement agency in the county. We're called on a lot to do that, and we're happy to do that, and we're proud to do it. Also, we add our business checks and area patrols in there. Something I was big on during the election was getting outside of the municipalities and the Progress community, Johnson Station, Whitestown, all those areas, being able to see deputies and experience those deputies as well, because they are in Pike County and they're just as much a part of this county as anywhere else. And then, of course, our accidents worked, and we keep our training updated. That's something we're very big on at the Sheriff's Department, is training, and we try and do some sort of training weekly. Of course, here the last, I want to say, month has been focused around our new body camera system that we're implementing, and trying to get everybody up and rolling with that. And we had to train ourselves on it too. So I'm still learning.
Well, let's talk about those for a minute, because that's been a hot button topic for a while in various places.
It has been.
I can't figure out where the downside is to this, though. I mean, it's good for everybody involved, I think, for you to have body cameras.
It is, and I'll tell you the downside. I have to figure out technology a little bit more. That's the only downside to it. But no, this system is perfect. Of course, we looked at a lot of systems, and we chose this one for a lot of reasons. But it's not just body cameras, and I'm gonna start with the vehicles. On September 1st, we did our first. I'm sorry, I did on August the 12th. Yeah, August the 12th, we did our first. Training with the rocket systems that go into these vehicles. Now, that rocket system is a hotspot or a wireless internet for the vehicle. It controls the camera and allows the camera to operate. But not only that, it's integrated into the vehicle. We can tell on some vehicles tire tread. We can tell when oil change is due. We can tell how fast the deputies are driving, GPS located, locate that vehicle to within 3 feet of where that vehicle's at. Braking when the doors open, when the lights turn on, when the sirens turn on. So it really allows us to track the driving habits of our deputies. It allows us to, if little Miss Johnny calls in from out on the northeast side of the county and says, I haven't seen a deputy in 2 weeks, and I called because I heard a bump outside my house and needed extra patrol, we can say, well, Miss Johnny, they've been out there. They were just out there at 2 a.m. around when you called. So it really helps us out, not only in vehicle maintenance, but to see what areas are being patrolled and where the deputies are. That rocket system, like I said, it's a wireless internet, and it allows the body camera to operate within 150 feet of the vehicle, depending on service issues and everything. But that body camera is awesome as well. I call it the Apple Watch. It's not an Apple Watch, but it's a watch that the deputies wear that controls the body camera, which is integrated into our uniform. There's a grommet in the uniform where it clicks in and allows the camera, it's just a little hole that the camera comes through. And I like that, because a lot of times if you get into a physical altercation and there's a body camera on the outside on a vest or something of that nature, that body camera may fall off. And if you take off running another 30, 40 feet, which I couldn't run another 30, 40 feet after a physical altercation, but some people can, and
good for them.
And if you do, you don't have that even audio or video. So I like that, because the camera will always be inside of a deputy's shirt, and if we don't have the video, we have the audio of it, and a lot of times that's just as important to have as the video. But these cameras are great. They have a officer down feature that if an officer lays in an unnatural position for 30 seconds, it will alert that officer, and that officer has to become mobile. If they do not become mobile, we immediately get a text message. All the administration gets a text message to our phone, and every active body camera gets an alert that there's an officer down. It tells that deputy directions of how to get to them, and play by play. If we were here at the college, you go out to College Drive and you take a right and you drive for 300 feet, and you're going to take a left on Bear Drive, and it'll get them to within 10 feet of that deputy. And so with fentanyl being a big thing still, and accidental overdoses and the exposures, I thought that was really neat. That was really cool. So that was just one of the many features about these body cameras.
Well, and when you were talking about how it tracks everything from the door being open to it sitting there to the lights, everything, all of that has a pretty big safety component to it for the deputies.
Yes, it does. It does. And even to the point of when a gun is unholstered, that body camera will record back a certain number of seconds. And so it's not only safety for the deputies, it's it helps us with cases, documentation of cases, and especially larger cases, felony cases, things like that. So it's just a phenomenal system. We couldn't have done it without the help of the Board of Supervisors. I just want to thank each and every one of them, because they have been so supportive of my administration, and we've worked well together. No matter what side you're on or however you want to view it, I've been so proud of them. So they've been awesome.
Now, let me ask you this, just a little out of nowhere, but you know me.
I wouldn't expect any different.
Yeah, that's the way it works. What do you think the biggest problem we have that we need to work on is in Pike County?
Juveniles. So, Judge Brewer is doing the best he can down there. We talk weekly, and him and I have a very good working relationship, as well as he does with everybody else. But we have a big problem with juveniles inside Pike County, and juvenile crime. A lot of these things that you're seeing, these shootings, these gun calls and stuff, they're relating back to juveniles. And state laws, there's not really, we don't have a lot of teeth. Holding facilities, we don't have a lot of teeth with that. So, everybody likes to point the finger somewhere else, but I'm just going to be as real as I can and say that I think the state of Mississippi needs to step up. So.
Well, and that is the problem. How much of it do you think has some tie to gang activity? That's the word that's brought out.
Yes, and to get more into it, I was kind of given the 30,000 foot view there. Yes, these juveniles and gangs, and we're starting to see a lot of hybrid gangs now. Back when I was in the drug unit and working cases, you saw your separate sets, and you could pretty much go to a part of town, and what set was in a separate part of town. But we have these hybrid gangs now that. They're all in school together, and there may be 4 sets in one hybrid gang. So that's what we're running into, and that's the problems that we're running into. But yes, everything is gang related and gang driven. So
how do we fix it,
brother? Proactive policing. It's going to take agencies working together, and I'm going to say that again. It's going to take agencies working together, and I hope a lot of people are listening. But proactive policing is going to be the only way that we can fix it. During the election, I said there has to be a healthy fear, and not a fear that you're going to get your butt kicked by the police or something, but I use Sean Gill as a reference. When Sean Gill was young and patrolling, nobody drove. The speed limit's 30 miles an hour on Delaware, and you didn't drive 31, okay, because you knew you were going to get a ticket, and you had your seatbelt on. Well, there has to be that healthy fear that there's consequences for your action, and the criminals have to know that you're going to get held accountable if you come to Pike County, Mississippi, and commit a crime. You're going to be held accountable. If you go to the city of Macomb, the city of Summit, Magnolia, Osaka, you're going to be held accountable, and we're going to do our job, and we're going to pursue you, and we're going to prosecute you. And it goes from our level to the prosecution, and I think we're in the best place right now that we've been in a long time in Pike County, Mississippi, and to have that done. So there has to be that healthy fear. So
respect.
Yes.
It has to be a respect. Has to be go back to when you were a kid. What was the worst possible thing that you could be scared of? You're going to get in trouble. Mm-hmm. Well, we need to bring back a little weight to that phrase. Yes. That's what you're talking about, and that's what you're doing, I think.
And it is. And again, you have to respect on both sides. We have to give that respect, but also we have to get that respect. And if we don't get that respect, then we do our jobs, Yeah. And everybody likes the police until the police have to show up and do their jobs because, somebody's son or daughter, somebody's, cousin or aunt or uncle or niece or nephew is involved in everything we do. And everybody wants us to come in and do our jobs till it comes knocking on their door, and I feel for those families. I do, because it's a hard time, and it's a lot that they have to go through with that, but we have to do our job, and we have to protect the community.
Everyone is comforted by blue lights running unless they're in the rearview mirror.
Yes.
At that point, it's a whole different conversation.
It is.
People, leave me alone. Yeah, well, slow down, think bad. Now, you've got a great crew. You've been talking about it.
Oh, my gosh. I'm blessed.
And you're exactly right, I think, that if you don't have a good staff, a good crew, a good officers, well, you're just not going to get anywhere.
Right.
And you've got some fantastic people, and you started kind of recognizing some of them for that every month, haven't you?
We have. That was something we were big on coming in, and Chief and I quickly realized that we were too busy to do that. So hence Miss Gaden Wilson over here, and we kind of started our I'm going to call it courting process there of trying to get her to come in, and she finally came on. So I'm going to turn it over to her and let her talk about our employee highlight and our excellence award, because she has really taken that and ran with it, and I'm so appreciative of it.
Thank you so much. Well, Sheriff made it very clear that he wanted to make sure that we were taking care of the employees of the Sheriff Office. So on last Friday, we started the monthly Excellence Awards, where the Sheriff will select 2 employees of the month that has shown excellence, that is doing their job above and beyond, and for that they will be recognized and be rewarded for it. So the Excellence Award, of course, is to build morale within our team and just let the people know that is serving Pike County know that the sheriff appreciate the work that we do, and as well as the citizens, and just, something that we can all be proud of for our team with the sheriff's office.
Well, and I think that is a great way to approach it because in a weird sort of way, kind of gives them something to shoot for.
Yes, it does.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little motivation.
Yes.
Absolutely. Next month, we have our first health fair that's coming up, and we're going to do it 2 different days. And, of course, it's for the sheriff's office employees. Right. We're having our awards ceremony in December, not in December, but November 25th. Again, that's about the sheriff's office employees. So this was his vision of a way that we can say thank you to the employees of the sheriff's office. And I do want to give a huge thank you to the public.
Yes.
And to our partners and our sponsors and all of the people who bake the cookies, who bring the what we call the power rings, the donuts. But there's not too many days go by that some citizen of Pike County don't come by and bring something and say thank you to the sheriff and our staff for the services that we provide for Pike County, and we are so grateful for that.
We are.
And that's important, and I'm going to break in here because I want to talk to everybody listening. That is noticed, that is appreciated, and that is motivating in a very big way. Not saying, come run over here and give me gifts and something good will happen. Right. No, that's not the point. Right. The point is to show your appreciation for the job they're going to do whether you do it or not.
Right.
Yes.
And I think that's hugely important. And we've kind of gotten away from that in recent years. It kind of goes back to what you were talking about with everybody loves the police until. Same thing, So I think that is important. So you guys are always open to food, I would assume.
We are. The public, I say this jokingly.
Such a matter-of-fact answer. We are.
They keep us in the gym every morning because, when you eat 5 or 6 donuts a day, the next day you have to be at the gym at 6:30 running it off. So I think I have a little joke. I think they're trying to keep us gaining weight so that if they need to run, they can get away. So.
Got a better chance. Well, you freely admitted you're not doing 30 or 40 feet.
No.
There's limits to everything here. Mm-hmm. So this happens every month.
Every second Friday of the month. And also, if you will notice, we've been highlighting our deputies and our detention center staff, our bailiffs. We've been highlighting everyone. There's some special talent that we have inside our department, and we want the public to know what we have. We have Detective Umbrello. Yes. He is an accident recreationist. Mm-hmm. So we're going to be highlighting that because people need to know we have someone right here in the Pike County Sheriff's Office that can recreate an accident. And just tell the story. There's just so many gifted hands that we have. And again, I'm just happy to be a part of the team. Playing professional basketball, I've been a part of a lot of great teams. But this team right here is one of the most rewarding teams because now I have a different view of what our law enforcement does. And so thank God that I'm able to tell the story now to make sure that the citizens of Pike County are aware of what's happening and what we do and how we do it.
Well, and you're talking about recognizing various officers and deputies and staff and what you're doing that on the Facebook page in part at least, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I'm pretty sure it's open for anybody to go follow that.
Absolutely.
I recommend it because I follow it. That's where you get the weekly crime stat reports and everything else.
Right.
Yep. And all of our trainings. We're training every week. I think the sheriff was a little light on it, but he expects the trainings to go on at the next level every week, and our people are stepping up to the job.
How is it you play, Cornelia? Former professional basketball player, like you practice?
Yep.
Just like you practice.
Yes. It's that rule
There's
applies.
Only one speed.
Yep.
In everything, yeah.
And that's what I like. You have a lot of coaches that coach, and then you have coaches that can get out there and show players what to do. This is what I really love. I don't think I've told you this, Sheriff, but I really like the fact and love the fact that he is a working sheriff. If something comes on that radio, he's not going to sit there. He's going out there and work that deal with those guys. Right. And so when the young people and the young deputies coming in, when they see that, when they see the coach is motivated and self-driven, guess what the whole department is going to end up doing? We're all going to be self-motivated and self-driven. So I really like that.
You can't let the boss show you up.
No.
You get right down to it, but that does kind of bleed over, and that's hugely important. And we could have this conversation for the next hour, as you know, but that is such an important piece to this. And there are so many things that go into this, and so many steps, so many attitudes, so many mechanisms, I guess I'll say, that make a good department and a good law enforcement staff. It's not as simple as, all right, let's go get. It's not like you see on TV shows. It's not.
It's so much that goes into it. With me, first appearance is everything, and that's why we come back. And it took us a couple months to get our uniforms in, but we went to a Class A uniform, and just the comments I've gotten from the public about it. We're happy to see law enforcement getting back to looking professional, and having that professional look and taking pride in themselves. Some of our deputies, I've seen just from putting that Class A on, and yesterday, we were at a scene, and I saw one of our female deputies, and I told her, I said, you look sharp today, and see that boost of morale that they have. Just from taking pride in themselves and knowing that they look sharp and they look presentable. I talked to you at your father's funeral. I talked to you about when I was young, and I remember his boots being shined and his collar brass. So that's something that I've carried on to the sheriff's department. It's just that first appearance, that first presentation, how you look.
Yes, because you may have heard the old expression, don't dress for the job you have, dress for the job you want.
Yes.
This is kind of runs alongside that.
It does. And, the most dressed down you'll probably ever see us is a polo and Class A pants. Me and Chief, we wear Class A's daily with the guys. And I'm never going to ask them to do anything that I wouldn't do myself. And just getting out and, whether it's wearing a Class A uniform or getting out and being on the front lines with them, that's the way I operate, and that's how I roll. So,
I've heard a lot of this somewhere before, and I just can't put my finger on it, Sheriff. But it's very familiar, and it makes me happy.
Yes, well, we're happy to be here, brother. I'm proud to be here. This has been a dream of mine since I was young, and I never would have imagined that God would have opened the doors and put me here at this point in my life. But I'm here, and we get up every morning and we strive for excellence, and it's a hard job. It's hard on all of us. Chief and I, we have a lot of those private conversations that are hard, but we do it, and we do it for the betterment of Pike County. Everything we do, we keep the citizens of Pike County and taxpayers in mind. So.
Well, and that's the problem. A lot of people don't want to have the hard conversations.
Yes.
Because by definition, they're hard.
Yes.
That's the ones you have to have first.
And we're close enough, we're family enough, we can have them, and we can walk out and go eat lunch and love each other just the same. So.
Well, when you surround yourself with good people, it makes it easy.
That's it.
It really does, and you did it again over here.
I know. Hey, I couldn't be any happier. She shows up. What'd you show up in today?
A 1972.
There we go.
Yeah.
I think it's a Cutlass, isn't it?
Yeah.
No.
Is it a Cutlass? What is it?
Well, I didn't mean to put you on the spot like that, but it is beautiful. I called her. I said, "Are we at the college?" She said, "Yeah, I'm in the old school." I said, "We'll talk about that later." So I'm gonna have to drive it in just a minute. So if you see me and Miss Wilson cruising down Delaware, honk at us, okay?
So. Well, my favorite part is after she got off the phone with you, we were talking about it here in the studio. I said, "Well, I certainly hope you drove that up here, like this, lean back with your hand over the wheel." She said, "I did."
That's how I'm gonna drive it.
Yeah, well, I think you're required by law to drive it.
What is that?
It's a beautiful vehicle. That's what that is. That is a beautiful vehicle.
So.
Oh, God.
I got to vacuum my car. I realize that now. I'm just looking at that.
Making us feel bad here.
I didn't realize how trashy I'm riding around until I saw your car.
It's a 1972 Monte Carlo.
Monte Carlo. That's it. Yeah, not making me feel better there, Cornelia, about my riding choices here. Sheriff, you're doing one heck of a job, man. You really are.
We're trying.
And it is the highest compliment, I think, to say just keep doing what you're doing, because
Thank you.
you're knocking it out of the park. You really are.
We're trying our hardest to, and like I said, we get up every day, go to work with a smile on our face, and we love our job. And I say we because we're a team. You'll never hear me take credit for one thing. We're a team, and we do it together. That's how we've approached this whole sheriff's office, and I'm proud to be here. So thank you to the public.
Sheriff Wally Jones, have to have you back again soon.
Yes,
I know
sir.
you've got
Most
nothing
certainly.
but free time, so we'll get you back in here. Cornelia, I'll be talking to you.
Thank you.
Been talking to you for 20 years. Why would I
Yes.
stop now, right? We continue on this Friday morning on Super Talk, Mississippi, Pike County after this.
What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, bad boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, bad boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Nobody now give you no break. Police now give you no break. That old soldier man now give you no break. Not even your eyes now give you no breaks. Hey, hey, bad boys, bad boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, bad boys. What you gonna
We're from the country and we like it that way. Dr. Romance for Selman's Jewelers. For 75 years, Selman's has served the wonderful folks of this area with fine quality jewelry, watch, and giftware needs. From natural and lab-grown diamonds to baby goods, silver jewelry, and much more. Selman's Jewelers on Delaware Avenue has worked hard to provide you with quality, service, and value. Come see us today. Layaways and financing available. Selman's since 1945.
Don't miss Dave in the morning, even when you miss it the first time. You can catch it on the podcast. Missing out would be a crime. SuperTalk 93.5 is always the place to be. Wanna get the podcast version? Here, my friend, is the key. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com. It's all there and it's all the rage. Spotify, Amazon, or Apple, or just right there on the page. Dave in the morning, late at night, or anytime you have a break. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com. It's all there and it's all the rage. Spotify, Amazon, or Apple, or just right there on the page.
North Pike football is back. It's another exciting season of North Pike Jaguar football on Super Talk Mississippi Pike County 93.5. Brought to you by Chick-fil-A, Toyota of Brookhaven, Ag Up, Exhaust Pro, Southwest Mississippi Regional Medical Center, Peterbilt of Macomb, and Lot Furniture. It's North Pike Jaguar football on the air at 93.5 FM. Available online at supertalkpikecounty.com and through your Alexa devices.
Each time I'm with you, I lose my mind because I'm bending over backwards to relate. It's one thing to complain, but when you're driving me insane, well then I think it's time that we took a break. Maybe we're just trying too hard, when really it's closer than it is too far. 'Cause I'm into
Welcome back, Super Talk, Mississippi Pike County, 93.5. Pike County Sheriff Wally Jones, enjoyed having him in here. We'll have him back as soon as he's able. As I said it jokingly at the end there, but the man is busy. His schedule is full. So, yeah, as soon as we get a chance, we'll get him back in here and keep everybody up to date on exactly what is going on. But if you want the straight scoop on stuff, just ask the sheriff if you run into him, because as you just saw, he'll tell you right up front. We know what the problems are, and it's refreshing to have someone that will tell you what you already know instead of trying to dance around it. That's a sign we've got things going in the right direction, at least when it comes to the sheriff's department. So good job. Excellent job there. We have, okay, I want to talk about this again very briefly. because we still have the computer models being talked about. And there's something that I want you to understand. Yes, there is a chance that we could have another system develop down around the Yucatan Peninsula, around the Bay of Campeche, sometime in the next week or so. National Hurricane Center still does not have an actual forecast for it, but it's too early still, so that's not surprising. Here's something that I don't really think a lot of people realize. There are literally dozens of computer models that are run trying to predict hurricanes. I've mentioned this part before. When you see the forecast path from the National Hurricane Center, that's the average. That's the mean of the models they consider to be most accurate, because none of them are dead on. As a matter of fact, usually, if you're 5 days out, there's not a single computer model that's calling it exactly right, that the line is going to match up with where the storm goes. Doesn't work that way. Never has. It's always been a best guess. Now, our best guess has improved drastically over the last 10 to 20 years, but a computer model does not mean this is what's happening. So I see people spreading around various computer models saying, this thing's coming right for it. It's going to be a category 69. Yeah, no. Number one, it's too early. Number two, computer models, none of them, even the most accurate. GFS is pretty accurate. The European model, very accurate. They don't get it exactly right. They're a useful tool. But people go and they cherry pick. They pick out the one or two models that show it coming right for us, and that's what they post. You don't see the other 30 that show it not developing at all, or going into Texas, or going into Georgia, or going back out into the Atlantic. You'll see all of those if you look at all of the computer models. And some of the computer models, when it comes to forecasting tropical storms, well, there's no nice way to say this. Some of those models are just trash. They're running it on an old TRS-80 computer with an Etch-a-Sketch for the screen. It's obvious. So, when I say to take stuff with a grain of salt, do it. That doesn't mean it's not going to happen, but come on. Yeah, there's another one right there. Showing it basically hitting New Orleans. Is that possible? Sure. Is it a definite? Not even close. So there is a fine line between being prepared and just being scared. Let's go with prepared. Keep an eye on it. Pay attention when you see things, but keep it in context. We're missing context on everything these days. Keep it in context. You see that one computer model that shows you this thing's coming right up your driveway. It's going to happen. It's going to be massive. It's going to be horrible. Yeah, well, there's 30 other computer models that don't say that, but you're not going to hear about those. This, by the way, once you understand this, once you internalize this process, you have one more step to take, because you have to realize that's how everything works right now. Everything. I don't care if it's the national media, the mass media. I don't care what topic you look at. Things are cherry-picked so that when they're presented, the people presenting them get the reaction they're shooting for and not an honest reaction. Because I'm sorry, I saw one. This was great. I saw one map that had, I think it was like 20, 25 of the different computer models for this potential storm. It was all over the board. They were going down into southern Mexico. One of them had it going out into the Atlantic, curving back around and hitting down around Brazil. It was all over the place. No two were even close to each other. But until you see that in context, you see all the computer model says, well, yeah. Don't take it to heart to that level. We have to quit being a population of people who are a panic in desperate search of a catastrophe. Everyone is geared up. That's the recreational activity now, is to be scared, to be upset, to be mad. It's not productive. Never has been, never will be. So I say all of this, I wanted to bring this up because as we head into the weekend, you're going to see more of these computer models. Big old grain of salt. I'm not sure there is a large enough grain of salt in the universe to take with this. Could we have something develop? Sure. Is it going to even develop? Don't know. We'll find out. If it does develop, where's it going? This early out? Who knows? So realize the context here. Pay attention. Glance over in that direction every so often. Don't go get your milk sandwich ingredients. Nowhere near close to time for that. It'll all spoil before anything happens. But also try to draw from this some context about everything else going on in America right now, because everything is done the same way. You got 30 different reports of something. You're going to pick out the one that's going to make people the maddest, or the one that's going to be the scariest, and that's the one we're going with. Well, I was telling you the truth. That computer model says it. Yes, but you didn't tell the entire truth. That's where things have gone wrong. So keep that in mind. Keep context in mind and realize it's just like the iceberg that took the Titanic down. What you're being shown is not nearly the whole story. And yes, in case you're curious, I catch a lot of grief for these conversations like this that you and I have together, because I'm spilling the secrets. I'm explaining, I'm pulling the curtain back and explaining how some of this works and why it works that way. And why do I do that? Because I believe in the truth, and I believe that living your life mad and scared is not living your life. Do I mean turn into a robot, never be scared, never be mad? Of course not. But that shouldn't be your entire personality. That shouldn't be all day, every day. And there are some people, that's their goal. That's how they would like to see things progress. This is all a very long, complicated way of saying, don't let the jerks win. The FCC has rules in place to prevent me from saying the word I wanted to say instead of jerks, but you can fill in that blank yourself. It's fine. What? No, it's not hypotenuse. Where did you... We'll continue right after this.
I never did it, no, I won't admit it. Why should I lie for you anymore? You never loved me, you pushed and shoved me. I see the woman I never saw. I saw you laugh when the life was twisted. It still hurts from the pain that she did. I'm looking back at the time that could have died, but I won't cry for the wasted years, 'cause you ain't worth the salt of my tears.
We're from the country and we like it that way. Dr. Romance for Selman's Jewelers. For 75 years, Selman's has served the wonderful folks of this area with fine quality jewelry, watch, and giftware needs. From natural and lab-grown diamonds to baby goods, silver jewelry, and much more. Selman's Jewelers on Delaware Avenue has worked hard to provide you with quality, service, and value. Come see us today. Layaways and financing available. Selman's since 1945.
Don't escape in the morning. Even when you miss it the first time, you can catch it on the podcast. Missing out would be a crime. SuperTalk 93.5 is always the
weekday mornings at 6 after 9 on 93.5 FM, or you can catch up anytime by going to
SuperTalkPikeCounty.com.
Dave in the Morning at SuperTalkPikeCounty.com. Catch up and catch on. North Pike football is back. It's another exciting season of North Pike Jaguar football on SuperTalk Mississippi Pike County 93.5. Brought to you by Chick-fil-A, Toyota of Brookhaven, Ag Up, Exhaust Pro, Southwest Mississippi Regional Medical Center, Peterbilt of Macomb, and Lot Furniture. It's North Pike Jaguar football on the air at 93.5 FM. Available online at SuperTalkPikeCounty.com and through your Alexa devices. Welcome back. Super Talk, Mississippi Pike County. Didn't bring it up when the sheriff was here earlier, but if you haven't heard about it yet, we had a horrible thing happen last night. The Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College team and band and everybody came up to play Southwest Mississippi Community College last night. Well, the band was on its way, and they were coming across, because really that's the way you would go. You would leave Gulf Coast Community College and go up past Wiggins, all the way up 49 to Hattiesburg, and then come across 98 to get to town. That's the simplest, cleanest way to get from one to the other. Well, they were on 98. They were approaching the area. They were right at the Pike-Walthall line. When the bus collided with a truck, a 1997 Ford Ranger. Well, the bus was loaded down with the Gulf Coast Band. Phenomenal band, by the way. The Band of Gold, they're called. And yeah, they're good. And they usually have 1 million people out there on the field. Top tier, top level band, definitely. Well, in that accident, 2 people lost their lives. It was the 2 people in the Ranger, because Ranger versus bus, you kind of can see where that's going, right? The problem happened. The driver of the Ford Ranger was coming up Pike 93 at the crossover at Highway 98. And ran into the bus. That's the official word that I have heard so far. We'll wait for more details to come out about that. But unfortunately, 51-year-old Gregory Young of Macomb and 46-year-old Brandy Simmons of Magnolia, they were in the truck. Both of them killed. None of the students on the bus were injured. But that impacted their ability to get to the game last night, as you can imagine. You absolutely hate to hear about things like this, but in this particular case, it is an accident. Why did it happen? We're not sure. The bus was following all the laws and minding its business, so something went wrong somewhere in the process. And you hate to hear it, you hate to see it. But at the same time, that's what it is. I want to go ahead now. You may have seen some people saying this online, changing subjects here. I just want to go ahead and get ahead of the rush right now. I want to go ahead and get this nailed down before anything happens. Sean Puff Daddy Combs, Diddy, did not kill himself. Let's just go ahead. He's been placed on suicide watch in the prison now. That's the breaking news this morning, is that he has been placed on suicide watch. This is going to get ugly. I'm just brace up. I'm warning you. This entire story is going to get really, really bad before it starts getting better. So just hide and watch. Be patient. Just wait. Let's see what comes out about this. Now, keep in mind, we said the same thing about Jeffrey Epstein, and we're still waiting. So you might have to be really patient. But he has been placed on suicide watch. I hope that means they're watching out for it to happen so they can stop it and not just we're going to watch. But we'll see. Another weird week in news. Do you notice nothing's been normal for a while now when it comes to national news? There is a method sometimes used by military organizations called chaos and confusion. Sometimes the best thing you can do is get everything so confused, everything just going in 18 different directions at once. You overload their senses. You get them to the point to where they don't know what to focus on because you don't even know what you're going to do next instead of them. And then you turn around and win. That's acknowledged. I really get the feeling we have some of that happening right now. It's a chaos and confusion organization. Let's see how much wacky stuff we can throw out. Let's keep everybody off kilter, off balance. Because, again, and you talk to anyone with any experience in psychological processes and theories, that is a great way to get someone to be more compliant to do what you want them to do instead of what they would normally do. Get them confused. Create chaos. Scare them. Get them worried. Get them mad. All of those things lead to problems. Always have. Need to try to get a hostage negotiator in here. I'd love to have a conversation with them. They're highly trained to do that. They don't come up and start screaming at them. They don't throw flashbangs through the window while they're talking to them. Why is that? They want them calm. They want them to calm down. They want them steady. They want them rational so they can reason with them. You are having that process worked on you in reverse by the national media all day, every day. They ought to change the name of the news from the news to here's why you should be terrified today. Or, in a segment in that broadcast could be entitled, I'll bet this ticks you off. I say all that to say this. Quit buying into it. Showing everybody how mad you are accomplishes nothing. Showing everybody how scared you are accomplishes nothing. Calm, cool, rational, even keel, steady hand at the wheel. That's what everyone has to have. That's what you have to have in your day-to-day life. So don't let anyone subtly influence you to be otherwise. Because the ones that are doing it are jerks. Oh, there I am with the FCC rule again. Jerks is kind of my standard filler word when I don't want to lose the license. You can substitute the one that you think fits best. And it doesn't matter which one, they'll all work. Final break. We're going to shut this thing down for the weekend right after this. Keep it here.
We're from the country and we like it that way. Dr. Romance for Selman's Jewelers. For 75 years, Selman's has served the wonderful folks of this area with fine quality jewelry, watch, and giftware needs. From natural and lab-grown diamonds to baby goods, silver jewelry, and much more. Selman's Jewelers on Delaware Avenue has worked hard to provide you with quality, service, and value. Come see us today. Layaways and financing available. Selman's since 1945.
North Pike football is back. It's another exciting season of North Pike Jaguar football on SuperTalk Mississippi Pike County 93.5. Brought to you by Chick-fil-A, Toyota of Brookhaven, Ag Up, Exhaust Pro, Southwest Mississippi Regional Medical Center, Peterbilt of Macomb, and Lot Furniture. It's North Pike Jaguar football on the air at 93.5 FM. Available online at supertalkpikecounty.com and through your Alexa devices.
Don't miss Dave in the morning. Even when you miss it the first time, you can catch it on the podcast. Missing out would be a crime. Super Talk 93.5 is always the place to be. Want to get the podcast version? Here, my friend, is the key. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com. It's all there and it's all the rage. Spotify, Amazon, or Apple, just right there on the page. Dave in the morning, late at night, or anytime you have the crave. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com.
Dave Hughes here. Remember, every weekday morning at 9:06, it's Dave in the Morning, where we solve the problems of the world, or at least complain about them really loudly and sarcastically. And if you miss out, you can catch up with the podcast version of Dave in the Morning at supertalkpikecounty.com.
Closing time. Open all the doors and let you out into the world.
That'll do it. We have run through an entire week. We keep doing that for some reason. I don't know. It's good. It beats the alternative, though, doesn't it? Want to remind you very quickly, today is the day they are closing down the I-55 overpass at Park Drive that goes over the interstate, jacking that bridge up next. So, if you normally take that road to get to where you're going, well, you won't for about the next 2 months, roughly, 7 or 8 weeks. They're looking at November 8th as the day they'll reopen that road, so keep that in mind. Game plan how you're getting to where you're going. Have a good weekend. Stay safe. Stay calm, cool, and collected. And we'll do this again Monday morning at 9:06. My friend, I'll see you then.
A SuperTalk Mississippi media production.